Here we are. It is Menopause series number 3. Oh yeah.
Welcome, everybody.
We have to do a celebration
Yeah.
because this series has actually brought so many people to the podcast. Just who are you? We've just gone through all your podcasts. You guys are amazing. We're getting lots of those comments lately. So if you've been one of those people that have sent us a private message, we love you. It's like making our day. We wake up and different people are contacting us. So how good is it that all our regulars are probably sharing the show and more people are getting more insight, more knowledge so that they can make informed decisions in this part of their life. So as they transition into and through menopause, perimenopause, all of those things, we're getting knowledge. We're getting knowledge, which means we're empowered, which means we make informed decisions. It's a freaking win-win.
And it's beautiful because now we're having conversations as well. I've noticed even in the gym, a lot of our members have been listening to the podcast and people actually talking about it for the first time ever. That it's become part of normal conversations and people sharing their experiences. It's been pretty awesome, and really empowering.
For us, we've never really not talked about menopause. So, when we used to do a lot more personal training, it was common talk with one-on-one with our clients. What we weren't getting was a lot of people as a whole, outside of a one-on-one conversation, didn't feel confident or to talk about menopause or perimenopause, or it's a joke about, I've got hot sweats again, I can't do star jumps on the rebounder, I've got leakage, all of those things, and it was like a shame game. And so we're just going to rip the plaster, the band-aid off, and not put shame around this, but let's normalize it. So anyway, today's a really cool session. This is our session. We're going to do an overview. We're expecting that we might get a lot of questions about this, or if you want to have more in-depth, just about these things in particular, let us know and we will go even deeper. This is like a general overview, nothing too specific, because we don't want to confuse you. There's a lot of information out there. We are aware that this is a big topic. So we're going to try and wrap it up in like 40-ish minutes, maybe 30. Well, let's aim for 30. Okay, I'm going to shush now, Sam.
She just jinxed it. It's going
What
to
is
50.
it? What is it?
So today we're going to talk about the physical changes, your body, your weight, and your bone health. 3 really, really big topics, really important. And I think it's what today's
weight should be like a whole hour and a half.
Yeah, I reckon we could be there for like 3 episodes,
you, but
really.
It just bounces up and down like a damn yo-yo, no matter what you're doing. Okay.
So it's the physical changes that are taking part in your body, specifically looking, I guess we wanted to do a little bit more of a sort of gain an understanding about the inevitable weight gain issue that seems to happen as you hit that perimenopause for most women.
I'd just like to say mine happened the day I walked out of the hospital after a hysterectomy.
The day after.
No, I did.
Straight away.
Like I actually had a roll, like tummy roll within that week. I was like, what the hell? Never had a roll. Maybe you can relate. And if you can, this is a podcast for you.
Yep. We're going to sort of talk about the role that strength training and nutrition have on the whole weight gain issue and how your body's changing. And then how menopause impacts your bone health.
Yes.
Okay, particular osteoporosis risks, etc., and why that's happening.
Osteopenia. Some of us are already there.
So if you've been wondering why your body's feeling different, even though your habits haven't changed much, like you might not have changed anything. You might be doing the same amount of exercise. You might be eating the same amount of food. Don't worry, you're not alone. There are so many women that are out there and they're doing exactly the same thing. And what we want to do here is help give you a bit of an understanding. And so we can help support you in figuring out what's going on and realize that you're not alone. All right? Does that sound good?
So what are the 3 key benefits of understanding why our body changes during menopause?
So I guess, first of all, empowerment through knowledge is really important. So understanding what's really happening biologically. Why are you gaining weight? Why is your body shape changing? And what other physical transformations are going to happen because of what's happening with your body? I think this makes a massive difference. It's going to reduce your frustration.
And self-blame. Like how many women, as a mindset coach, everyone blames themselves. It's so damn common. And it's so frustrating because it's a hormonal shift or imbalance. You're not going batshit crazy. And yes, the scales are going up. And yes, the clothes are getting tighter. Why? Hormone imbalance. And then instead of, eating more food and getting more rest, we train more. Do you notice that? Like we put on more cardio. We take the calories away. I mean, seriously, we take calories away. We starve ourselves. Like that's abuse. It is freaking abuse what women do. Like, this is the means that we've had. This is the only data, well, not even data, because it's not even scientifically proven. The more cardio you do, the more you lose weight. You're going to lose fluid and you're going to lose water, but you're going to lose muscle. And we're going to find out later on why that's a bad thing.
Absolutely. I guess the other thing is also just having more informed life health choices. So awareness of the changes and enables you to make choices like, what is my lifestyle going to be? Like Ush was mentioning, more sleep is better. You know, like what do you need to do lifestyle wise? What could you do nutrition wise that's going to support you better? And then what exercise is directly going to address the problems rather than just throwing cardio at yourself and thinking
not for the 20-year-old you or the 25-year-old you or maybe even the 35-year-old you. You know, you just might be lacking energy or confidence, or all of those things tie into who you are being and how you're going to navigate this journey for you.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest ones nowadays is your mental well-being. So knowing that the changes are natural and they're common, and you can reduce the feelings of being isolated, stressing out, highly anxious.
Reactivity.
Right. We just want to try and help women maintain a more positive outlook through this journey, knowing that it's very, very normal. There's nothing wrong with you. This is what's happening with your body. And knowing that there's nothing wrong with you makes a big difference to your mental well-being.
It calms the head down. So I reckon let's start with our bodies first. Go into
weight.
Weight gain. We just said it. Weight. Like, what is this excess weight? Tell me about it, Sam. Because I tell you, this is I reckon this is one of the podcasts we could do for an hour.
All right,
especially at a woman's only gym. Right?
Oh yeah,
this is the biggest complaint and abuse that we see. This is the topic that we see. Hey, those two things come
And
up.
usually women are like, I'm starving myself. I'm only eating 1,000 calories. I'm doing 12,000 steps every single day. I'm not eating any bread. I'm not eating any carbs. I'm not having any dairy. I'm only eating fruit. I'm totally vegan. And they've tried everything. Their frustration.
I'm still having my alcohol though.
The only way I can get through is by having a bottle of wine every night. Right?
This is hilarious. Like, one of the biggest toxins that we're putting into our bodies is alcohol so that we can navigate menopause, right? Like, that's crazy. Like, it's a #1 carcinogenic. We're putting it into our systems, hoping that we will get through menopause easier. No one tells us this stuff. It's a toxin we're putting into our body. Our liver has to work even more. It's already trying to process the liver, the poor liver. It's crazy.
It is.
You know, we will starve, but still have a glass of wine.
Anyway, so let's talk about weight gain. What's happening? What happens is usually going through those menopausal years, you get an increase in body fat. And guess what? It comes out of nowhere. Suddenly it just appeared. And you just don't understand what's going on. So
I told you, Sam, I had a hysterectomy. I walked out of hospital and I had a stomach. I had a roll. I've got a line and a roll.
So what happens is it's a drop in estrogen. So Ush had a hysterectomy. Boom, the body dropped estrogen. Boom, fat roll arrived overnight, out of nowhere, just arrived on the stomach. It was there. All right? That's what happened.
And the bastard's still there.
So estrogen helps to regulate your body fat distribution, so where it sits on your body. And
so it's even, right? So is that what you're saying?
It evenly.
So even. So then all of a sudden, no more estrogen, or the estrogen levels are dropping significantly. Now you're getting boobs if you haven't had boobs before, right? Now you're getting more on your tummy. It sucks.
Yeah. Especially around the stomach, the abdomen area. Most women, I think almost every single woman that I talk to who's over 50, definitely in their 60s, is like, my stomach is just so massive. It's right around my belly. I can't get rid of it. I've tried everything and it's just there around the tummy. So that's because your estrogen levels have dropped. Now, there's a study that was done on women in their late 40s and 50s. And in the study, it shows that most women in that age bracket will have an average weight gain of 1.5 to 2.5 kgs, even if eating exactly the same as they used to and exercising habits are exactly the same as they were before. So that's a 1.5 to 2.5 kg increase purely because you hit your mid to late 40s to 50s. And that's estrogen related, that's hormone related, that's perimenopause related, ladies. So it does happen to everyone, on average 1.5 to 2.5 kilos.
So you're not going nuts. The good news is everyone's getting big together, so that's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. We can't
look at those young people.
The only one.
Don't look at those young people.
Yeah.
But the other thing that's happening, it's a twofold thing
Metabolic
that's
rate,
happening.
right?
Because you're aging, your metabolic rate is also decreasing. Now, that's your metabolic rate is the amount of calories your body naturally burns just by being alive, right? Now, this rate, your actual calorie burning decreases because as we age, we have a tendency to lose muscle mass. And we're going to talk about that.
And
That's coming
to
up.
give you a quick overview, because I think some women get really stuck on this, I am a bodybuilder. So just to visualize the muscles, the ripped muscles, like muscle upon muscle, even the muscle over top of my roll. Imagine that, right? That means that because I'm metabolically active, there's muscle, 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 and Sam is like skinny Sam, like just
Please let me be.
skinny Sam, right? I get to eat way more than what Sam does without putting on weight because muscle needs fuel. Fat needs fuck all.
Yeah. Fat just sits on the couch watching movies all day eating popcorn.
Yeah.
Fat needs nothing.
It just sits there. It's like it's constantly on a lounger watching shit flicks, right? Whereas muscle needs shit to keep going.
Muscle's like the ADHD, a hyperactive kid running around nonstop, needing more, busy, needs fuel the whole time.
So that's what we need to do. We need to do to get the muscle. It is so, so, so important that number one, we strength train. And number two, nutrition. Now, lots of women, many, many years ago, right? This is the transitions that we've seen, you know, I guess owning New Zealand's longest women's gym. We've seen a lot of trends and a lot of women. So what we've noticed is that back 10, 20 years ago, everyone was on a mission to get skinny. They were doing the 2 and the 3 cardio classes, maybe lucky if you did one weight training session a week, if you weren't with a personal trainer. So they were just thinking if you do more, you eat less, you will get skinny. And you probably could have got away with it, in all honesty, in your 20s. Now that you're sitting at around the 40s and the 50s, because you're putting on that 1.5 kg and you're getting a little bit of belly fat and you're starting to feel fatigued and you're starting to feel grumpy because of all those estrogen drops, right? Now you think you've got to do more. So instead of knowing, oh my gosh, I need to do some weight training and get my metabolic rate back up, I need to prioritize. You know, we do body fat analysis at the club. Why do we do that? Because we want to see what you weigh on the scales. No, we've never been about what you weigh on the scales. Because you're not going in and buying a 75 kg fucking dress, are you? No, you're not. You're wearing a size of something, but if you're metabolically active, you're going to be tighter and firmer and actually smaller. So if you're at a club or you have your own body fat scales, check what the body fat's doing because we need to increase that muscle mass drastically. Like, don't worry about what the scales are telling you. For goodness sake, we all carry fluid. We all know that around our period we go up and down. But what is the muscle mass? Are you building muscle? Because if you're losing it, you're going to be like Sam sitting on the couch, fucking putting her feet up, watching shit flicks all day. Well, I've got to go and find some food to eat. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Lovely. Brilliant.
It's a little bit role reversal.
It is. No,
okay. All right, we're going on now because we've got to keep moving.
So we're going to talk about strength training. All right. So when your estrogen decreases, the muscle mass decreases. So the amount of muscle that you have when your estrogen goes down, the amount of muscle that you naturally have goes down.
Shit. Just if you get nothing else out of this podcast, take that on board.
So you're going through menopause, your estrogen is going down, so is your muscle, right? That slows your metabolism. So you ate the same food last week before you went into perimenopause, and you're eating it again this week. And last week you stayed the same or maybe lost some weight. This week you've probably started to put on and you're like, what the hell? I haven't done anything different. But the great news is strength training, which is resistance exercise, like lifting weights or lifting your own body weight. Those kind of exercises can counteract or will counteract that muscle loss. Right? You've got to do something. Like that whole, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, you can't go light, right?
No, you can't be sitting there with 2 kilos and just doing like 42 kilo
short, sharp, really heavy. So if you're just bumming around in a club or you've got your gym, get a trainer. Like, get a trainer that understands that you need to build muscle, that can measure your muscle, check your food, and make sure that you are building. Now, we think that this is going to be a topic that this is another separate
It's a whole
podcast.
different thing, man.
So
It's
if
big.
you would love more information and a deep dive about, what's happening with our muscle and our metabolic rate and, how we're processing fat and sugar and all of those things and what we need to do, then put it in the comments. If we see it in the comments, we'll definitely open this up, because I think this is a topic that not only are we really passionate about, we have a lot of knowledge around this area. Lift heavy, minimum 2 times a week. So if you're doing 3 cardio and 1 weights, flip it.
Gotta flip it.
You've got to flip it. You've got to get that strength training in, get rid of the cardio, and maybe eating more food, because starving is going to slow down your metabolic rate. Like, some people are actually living on minimum, like 1,200, 1,500 calories. It's not going to do it for you. It used to. You might have been able to get away with it when you were more metabolically active. Not now, girl.
Yeah.
It's gone. We're on a new
huge
chapter.
topic. We really need to cover this. There's so much information that we can give you on this that will help you understand. Because I know there's a massive fear about women doing weight training and looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, good freaking luck. I have been trying for 25 years to get some muscles popping out. And you know what?
Muscles, honey.
And I've been doing weight training. I do it every single week. I never miss it. I've been pumping hard. I don't go light. When I'm in the gym, I smash out heavy weights. When I'm teaching my power classes, I try to keep it as heavy as I can so that I can still speak to everybody and tell them what's going on. So
progressive overload.
Seriously, you are not going to turn into an Arnie. It's just, and even if you're in perimenopause and menopause, seriously, without injecting yourself with some steroids and stuff, it's not going to happen, ladies. Do not be scared of it. I really want to talk
extra
more about it.
testosterone and done weight training, and it made jack shit difference. I'm on steroids, for God's sake. Makes jack shit difference. Nothing will make a difference other than you lifting heavy and building that muscle. Like, if you've got no other goals for 2024 and 2025, and you're in perimenopause or menopause later in life, get your ass into strength training, right? And what are the essentials? Like,
okay,
why do we need to do it? Give me 3.
3 reasons why.
3.
1 is it's going to reduce your risk of osteoporosis and fractures. 2, it's going to improve your balance and reduce your fall risk, which is massive. Because if you're falling over, which a lot of our older adults, our parents, our aunties, our great grandparents, whatever,
our friends, our friends have done it recently,
falling over, injuring themselves, getting fractures. It's really serious. It makes, like, we're going to talk about that one a little later on in today. But falling over and breaking stuff is bad. It's really bad, especially when you're older.
I think that's another one, actually. We've done a lot of research about that too over the years.
And the other one is your mental health and reducing anxiety, because anxiety goes up anyway when you're going through menopause because of the hormonal shifts. Your exercise is a mood booster. It makes you feel good. It releases happy hormones into your body so you can feel good, you feel confident.
You want that dopamine and serotonin up, man. So give me some knowledge on there's a stat that you wrote down. I'm just going to see if I can find it somewhere. Osteoporosis.
Oh, yeah. So what do I write? 50% of women sort of over the age of 50 are at risk of getting osteoporosis related fractures. 50%. Now, I know that a lot of you that are listening to this podcast now are in your 50s and beyond. You're at 50%. 1 in 2 of you. If you and a friend are sitting next to each other, one of you are at risk of having a osteoporosis related fracture. What does that mean? It means your bones have got holes in it. So instead of bones looking like a solid, creamy looking thing, like you look at the dog's bone, if you pick up like one of those cannon bones, right? That's like one of your bones. Hard, full on, it's just like a big rock. When you get osteoporosis, that rock looks like a network of nets, massive holes, and just pieces like fishnet stockings. That's kind of what it looks like when you've got really bad osteoporosis. So when you have a fracture or you break something, it easily breaks because it's less dense. Now, weight-bearing exercises, so doing strength training and resistance training, can help to preserve your bone density.
We've even done tests like the weighted vest that you can walk. So one of the issues that I have, and we can go into a sort of separate podcast, is joint pain. I have a lot of joint pain. So for me to do heavy resistance or heavy weight training is not an option a lot of the time. So I might weight train and then I'm out for 3 to 4 days, right? Not because of muscular pain, but because of joint pain, and then I get fatigued. I can't have a lot of lactate acid in my body. So another option, even if you're not at a gym, is to get a weighted vest. And there's been science-based testing on the weighted vest on how that can improve bone density. Again, if this is a topic that you want more information about, like what are the scans that you need to have, what are the medications or the supplements that you need, all of that stuff, again, pop it in the comments. We're happy to do it. Like, as I said to you, I've had a DEX scan earlier this year, and I've got now osteopenia of the spine. Like, I didn't even know that we go to get these done. I had no idea. I didn't even know what the colors meant. Nothing. I didn't know that a weighted vest meant that I could improve my bone density. So if that's something that you want more information about, please let us know in the comments.
And it's a big deal, guys. My sister, she's in her 60s now, and about a year ago, she had ache in her leg. She didn't know why it was. It was so sore, full-on ache. They had all sorts of tests done. Eventually, she went and had to go and get like a proper bone scan where she had to drink some stuff, and it goes into your bones and everywhere. And they scanned her bones, and they found a stress fracture in her thigh, in her quad muscle, in her quad bone, sorry. So here she had this big fracture, and they were looking, and she had terrible osteoporosis on the legs. She does no strength training. She's not a fan of eating, full stop. It's a boring thing to do. So she hardly eats food. Like she'll just have a little snack here. I don't understand those people that don't feel hungry. But now she's taken some medications. She's managed to get back to osteopenia, which means she's got more strength. Now she's stepping into having to do strength training, knowing that that's such an important part of strengthening the bones. So it happens to people around you.
It not only does it happen with people with perimenopause and menopause, a lot of women that have gone through breast cancer. Yeah. We didn't know that was another thing for women that had breast cancer. They're high at risk for osteoporosis. High at risk. We had no idea.
No idea.
Okay,
next I want to quickly, we're not going to go deep into this one either, because this is like we could go forever. But nutrition. So we're going to talk about, there's two main things we want to talk about. One, protein, huge. We're going to cover that today. Two, calcium and vitamin D. We're going to talk about those as well. Now, protein,
what does protein do? This
is so freaking important.
To keep it simple, because a lot of people don't get this about protein. Right? They just go, ooh.
Protein helps muscles rebuild. No protein, no muscles.
No muscles, no metabolic rate. Stay on the couch watching shit flicks. Remember I told you about that earlier? I'm out there partying hard out. I'm the ADHD person. Sam's sitting on the couch. She needs fuck all. I need lots of sustenance. That's the difference. Muscle building machines. We don't want to be skinny machines. We want to be strong machines. Gone are the days of being skinny. We're moving and transitioning into strength, strong. Okay.
All right. So I think when you look at muscle, I think just remember, muscle makes muscle. Muscle fixes muscle. So when you're not having protein, and I tell my girls in strength classes all the time, don't forget, you've got 20 minutes to go and grab some protein. Go and get yourself a protein shake or have a bar, go home and make some eggs, have a piece of steak, get some chicken. You've got to eat your protein. It's your animal product. Now, I know there's going to be vegetarians here today as well. So for this, you could eat beans and nuts, but also remember that there is a higher percentage of carbohydrates mixed in with the proteins, and it's really difficult to get enough protein. And I know this is a big deal for our vegetarians and vegans. So finding those protein shakes that are bean and pea protein powders to be able to get that protein level up is so important, because muscle needs muscle to repair. And if you don't give your body the muscle that it needs to repair, it will find it. But it will steal it.
Yeah, we tear and repair, right? Tear, repair. Tear it, like get them out, build them up. And one of the ways to do that is protein. So I guess a cheaper option is 2 protein shakes a day. Oh,
just massive.
As soon as you've done your training at the gym, get a shake. If you're doing training at home, have a shake. Like, people go, I don't want to have all these chemicals, and I don't want to. Yeah, get you, I feel you, but you go and cook yourself 4 pieces of steak a day. Like, that's cool. It's a simple.
Just take out a mortgage to do that at the same time.
It's a simple, quick solution. And I feel you, I get you. Like, I prefer to go all natural, 100%. And if you are in a situation that you're able to do that, then go hard. Like, get all your nutrients from natural food. For those people that are working, raising kids, have so much stress on already, they can't even think about their own selves because they're feeding everyone else.
People that really hate cooking, really hate
Grab yourself some protein. Not only will it help build the muscle, it stops the sugar cravings, which is another really important factor as we go through.
And I just have to put in there, please just don't go to the supermarket and find yourself or somewhere, anywhere, it doesn't have to be a supermarket, you go to a supplement shop. Please don't go and find one that says muscle mass, muscle builder, rip and burn. Anything that's got words where they talk about mass and muscle and ripping and burning are usually very high in carbs as well. So you've got to find, like we only sell protein powders at the gym that are lower in carbohydrates but have a decent amount of protein.
And sugar.
And the sugar has to be low. Otherwise, you're just filling it, you're going to gain weight. So many people I've spoken to have gone on protein powder and then come back and when I have protein powder, I put on weight. And that's generally because you're having a protein powder which is designed for men to bulk.
With yogurt and milk.
And then you're adding milk and you're adding banana.
Banana, that's the one, the banana.
By the time you get to the end of putting your shake in, you're having like 100 grams of carbohydrates and like 30 grams of protein, and you wonder why you're gaining weight. So you have to find those shakes that are low in carbohydrates, not completely down, but they've got to be at least half the amount of carbohydrates compared to the amount of protein in them.
And don't fall for the protein. You know, when you've got anything in the supermarket, maybe we should do a podcast on that too, is actually grabbing all of this food and you go protein, and you go, oh yeah, I'm going to have it. I'm going to have it.
Like muesli bars, they're like, oh, this is a high in protein muesli bar. And like, you look at it and the sugar's
20 plus grams of sugar, but we've got
10
grams of protein, you know, because before we never used to put protein in them. So again, with your protein bars, if you want another podcast on this, we can go deep on what are the supplements that you should be having and what do you need to look at on the food labels. The supplements that we sell at our club specifically are for women. They are lower in sugar, low in carbohydrates, and higher in protein, and sufficient enough for women to digest that amount of protein. So don't fall for the trap that you're having to have 40 grams of protein. Women cannot digest 40 grams in one serve. Okay. Gosh, I feel like we're just giving you an overview and there's so much to do.
You're going to get excited about the next few weeks. The other thing that your body does need to help with bone is your calcium and vitamin D to absorb the calcium. The bonus is that vitamin D is also a mood booster. So generally speaking, if you don't get enough sun, especially in New Zealand in the winter months, you get a bit depressed and down. Vitamin D has the extra bonus of generally lifting your mood and making you feel a lot better. And calcium helps with bone health. So we can talk about that more at another stage as well. But the most important thing for bone strength, girls, is getting the strength training going and eating the protein to support that muscle growth so that your bones can then be better supported. Now, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about osteoporosis, guys, bone health. This is a big one. I know we've kind of covered it, but now we want to talk about it more. So bone density declines as your estrogen goes down. So you know how your muscle goes down? So does your bone density.
I tell you, I wonder if men go through all this as well, right?
I don't know. I think they just become grumpy old men, isn't it? Just like,
but yeah, because their testosterone comes down, right?
Way later, at about 70.
So if you've got a grumpy man at home, that's because his testosterone is coming down.
So men will lose their hair and become really grumpy, and that happens much later, usually sort of 60s and 70s.
They no longer become active. They are on the couch watching shit flicks, and their guts become bigger because they're having beer, which promotes more estrogen, so they end up with man gut, but really it's like boobs. Man boobs, man gut. So if you've got one of those men, that's because they've got more female hormones than male hormones, but that's a whole other.
And they really hate it when we say that, but it is true.
Stop drinking beer.
So what are some of the key things? Bone density loss. Women lose up to 20% of their bone density in the first 5 years after menopause. So after the day that your period finishes, a year after your period has stopped.
Officially,
so you haven't had a period for 12 months. That's the day of menopause. So 5 years after that, we find that most women on average are losing 20% of their bone density during that 5-year period. And estrogen is so important for maintaining that density, the bone density. And with those levels decreasing, they become more brittle, so you get more fractures.
It affects how many women?
1 in 3. 1 in 3
1 in
women
3 ladies, like, whoa, 1 in 3.
get osteoporosis.
That is absolutely crazy shit.
So if you've got osteoporosis, you're a massive risk of having a fall and breaking something. Usually your hip, your spine, or your wrist. Those are your 3 main areas where you break. Fracture risks, half of the women over 50 who have these osteoporosis-related fractures somewhere in their lifetime. So 50% of us are going to end up having a osteoporosis
50%. Like that's
Fracture.
me or Sam. I'm going for Sam. I don't want it to. Sam's got good
I
bones.
do
Like she'll
strength training.
recover.
Come on.
She'll recover a lot quicker than what I would. Right. Hip fractures?
25% of women over 50 are going to get a hip fracture.
50. Like, come on. No, 25% of women over 50. How young is 50?
And you know what's worse? Is that they're going to have a chance of dying within 1 year of having that fracture.
Now, we don't say that to scare you.
No.
We say that to empower you to start making the decisions and taking the actions to support your body now. Because knowledge is really powerful if you apply it. And now you have the knowledge. Now you know that you need to have vitamin D. Now you know that you need to get your butt into the gym and start weight training or grab yourself a weighted vest. Now you know these are the things that you can do. Having more protein in your diet, like all of these things matter. Spine health.
Now, there was something I read about. I wrote this down because it was too hard for me to remember. I wanted to get it right. So it pointed out that osteoporosis can also cause fractures in your vertebrae, leading to back pain, loss of height, and that stooped posture. So vertebral fractures are common, but they often go undetected. And that's
it's because it's the causes, the symptoms are minimal.
Yeah.
Right? The symptoms are minimal.
So quite often you just think, oh, I've just got back pain. Oh, you know, like, oh, I'm getting old. Oh, I've just got back pain. Oh, you know, your posture changes and you lose height. Like I lost height when I was 11. I wonder if I had one then.
Here we go, Sam. Okay, what's the role of calcium and vitamin D? I think vitamin D is another full podcast.
Really big one,
It's amazing for, prevention of cancer, energy, depression. Like I've been on vitamin D since I was in my 30s. I measure my vitamin D every 6 months, without a doubt. This is one of the tests that I take. Anyway, sorry, moving on.
So with calcium, we should be aiming for about 1,200 milligrams of calcium each day. And at least 800 international units. Is it international units? I think it is.
Yes, it is.
Of vitamin D each day. It's not that easy to get vitamin D. You normally have to get on a prescription from your doctor, unless you can go through some herbal companies that you can bring vitamin D in. But it's one of those. We don't get enough vitamin D in New Zealand because we don't get enough sunshine.
If you were living vitamin D though,
you can get it.
Yeah, not, easily. No, you can.
Is it?
Yeah, now you can. Like before.
It used to be so hard. We used to have to get it underground. But in Australia, they get a lot of sunshine. But now with all the sunscreen and wearing the long sleeve shirts and wearing the hats and everything, even the Australians, I'm talking Gold Coast, Queensland area where they get so much sun and it's beautiful and hot all year round, they are showing lower levels of vitamin D because everybody has been told to dress up and cover and hide from the sun so you don't get skin cancer. So they're not getting the same amount of vitamin D. So
don't get me started on all of that.
Yeah, that's another whole thing.
But it does have a crucial role on maintaining bone density. So that's why it's important. So impact of lifestyles like regular strength training not only help to slow down bone loss, but also have they significantly improve bone strength and density. How important is that, right? In fact, women who engage in constant strength training can reduce their risk of fractures by up to 50%. Sam's put a note here. Say this loud.
I went big and bold. 50%.
She did. I love that.
That's insane, right? That's all it takes is just doing some regular strength training. You're not turning into Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're not standing in front of the mirror grunting and groaning and trying to flex and take selfies. That's not what this is. This is you setting aside 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, 4 times a week if you can make it, to do some strength training. And that's going to have a 50% reduce in risk of getting a fracture. That's worth it alone, let alone the weight loss and let alone the mental well-being that'll come from actually doing something for your body.
It's quality of life. All right, quick. This is a recap on what we've done today. So we've unpacked the key physical changes women face during menopause. We've focused on body composition, metabolism shifts, and bone health. So quick recap.
Okay, so understanding that weight gain and metabolism shifts, hormone changes, especially causing the reduction in estrogen, makes you gain weight. Remember, we looked at that around the stomach, around about 1.5, 2.5 kilos, right, on average.
I think that's per bloody annum.
And
no, I think it is. I'm not joking about that.
Crazy,
every woman, put in the comments, do you think it's per bloody annum? I do. All right.
Plus, your metabolism is going to slow naturally as you age because you're losing muscle mass. Because
no, it's not, Sam. You know why?
Because
we're going to go strength training. Yes.
All right. So that's probably, and understanding that this is what's naturally happening in your body gives you more compassion for you and gives you more power to actually do something about it. Start doing something.
Rather than doing more and more and more and more and eating less and less and less and less.
So you're not going out for a run every day. You're not going to go and kill yourself in a 40-minute high-intensity cardio workout daily, followed by starving yourself and not eating anything, and then doing another one 5 hours later after work, right? That has to change. You need to be looking at strength training, and you need to be getting enough protein into your system to help your body. That's so important, guys. If you don't take anything else away today, just take that away.
Yeah, less cardio, more strength training.
Strength training is important. Why? Because you're going to maintain muscle mass, hopefully even gain some, and keep your metabolism active.
Active. That's what we want. Remember, no shit sitting on your ass watching shit flicks. You want to be out there in
ADHD land.
Good God.
Yeah. And just think of it
this way. That's what I think I am anyway. Undiagnosed, of course, but you know.
But I think the important thing here as well is if you do nothing, things will only get worse. So if you do nothing and you hear this and you go, I've heard this all before and I'll do it next week, what will happen is your estrogen will keep going down because that's what's happening in your body. Your muscle mass will keep going down because that's what's happening because you have low estrogen, and your metabolism will keep slowing down because you have no muscle, you have less estrogen. So you will keep getting fatter and you will keep getting more at risk of fractures and osteoporosis and everything else that's related to all of this.
And your quality of life drops drastically, which means now you're sitting with higher anxiety, deeper depression, and you end up just isolating yourself. And this is why we're doing this. We don't want you to live that type of life. It sucks, it's hard, it's challenging, and women shouldn't have to live like that.
So it's simple. Starting tomorrow, maybe not today, tomorrow, it can be today. You start doing something. You start doing the strength training, you start eating more protein, and you start, at the very worst, stop the progression. Stop it right here, right now, so it doesn't carry on. You can take that control. You might not be, some of you might not get back to what you were, because that's going to take work, right? Some of you might not have that much motivation and determination to actually go extra and get back, but you could at least, at the very least, stop the progress in the bad direction and stay where you are and continue to be exactly where you are right now. And if you really want to get your energy into it and go all out, then you can make improvements. Any way is possible. But sitting there doing nothing is only going to make it worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. It's not going away. You can't stick your head in the sand and just imagine that all of this will stop.
And we don't want you to put your head in the sand, because there's so many women out there right now that are putting their head in the sand because they don't know what's happening. They just don't know, and they're suffering unnecessarily. And we don't want you to live like that. That's why we're doing this. So just know that there is hope. You are not alone. You know, we're here to support you. We're here to give you the tools. Like, once you have the information, you can then go out and create some changes so that you don't have to have that life. You can just actually change the whole trajectory of your life just like that. Okay.
And then we looked at your bone health, and knowing that menopause accelerates bone loss, and that 20% of women will lose 20% of their bone mass within 5 years of going through menopause. That nearly 50% of women over 50 will suffer from osteoporosis-related fractures.
That scares the shit out of me.
That 1 in 3 women will have a fracture, and once you've had a fracture,
that 1 in 3 women at our club going through that. Like, that sucks.
And you can't sit there and go, oh, well, it won't be me, it will be her. Like, you don't know what's going on the inside. You can't.
That's game.
Right?
So
and
strength training.
The benefits of strength training is that's really important, making sure that you're getting regular strength training, because that's going to help you with building the bone density, taking vitamin D and calcium to help with the bone density as well is really important. And then
the benefits and the knowledge of proactive choices today.
Yeah. So I guess you got to understand how all of this is going to help reduce anxiety. It's going to build your confidence back. And that knowledge is power when you use it.
It's potential power.
Right?
Once applied, it becomes power. But now you've got the option of making informed decisions about the direction of which you want to, move into life. Like, I'm in my 50s and I want to feel freaking fantastic. I want to be vitally alive. So I'm going to do everything I can to be like double what I was in my 20s. Like, I want to have a better quality of life. and not struggle with pain and not struggle with, you know, dropping bone and bone density and not having mental and emotional, you know, stuff going through my head. So there's things that you can take control of. So we hope that this week's episode has helped you to identify some of the things that maybe you could manage a little bit better and you could navigate your physical health better.
Doing that, yeah.
I guess
Because the
better.
journey's
or-
happening. We're on the journey, guys.
We're on it.
We're on it. It's happening.
Yeah.
So we want to be able to navigate this better. We can't stick our head in the sand. We can't just wish it away, and one day we'll just wake up and we'll be miraculously better.
Don't be that person, because we don't want to come and visit you while you're in hospital. We want to prevent. We are all about preventative healthcare. That's why we own a club. It's not about what you look like, it's about what you feel like. And age strong. Like, just do that. Like, just imagine that. If 2025, if that was your mission, I'm gonna age strong. Like, just try that jacket on. It feels sexy as fuck. It does. Okay, so stay tuned for next week's. What have we got next week?
So next week we're going to talk about the mental side. So this was the physical side. We're going to talk about the mental side of menopause.
You
So
know what I'm like.
we're going to explore mood.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about mood. We're going to talk about memory, and we're also going to talk about sleep and how that all affects you, and the strategies and support that we can give you, some little tools and tips and understanding to help you navigate this better, and how to overcome the emotional roller coaster that you could potentially be going through, and help you through the transitional stage of menopause.
So if you want extra podcasts to do a bit of a deeper dive on any of the topics that we brought up today, pop it in the comments. We're always going to check anyway. And let us know, because we're happy to do a deep dive. This is the shit that we've been doing for 20, 25 years. We love it. We're passionate about it. We want you to age strong so that you can, you know, when you enter in your 50s and your 60s and your 70s, you're not going to be that percentage of people that are going to be in pain. You're not going to be that percentage of people that are struggling with anxiety. Like, we want to be able to have a community of women that are really strong, really motivated, feeling and living their best life. So we're going to do it from our end. So sharing is caring. Share it out and let us know if there's anything else that you'd like us to dive deeper on. Until next week, go out there and create some magic for someone else. Just go do it.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.